Our first speaker tonight is Alex Norton. He has been writing games for the PC since the age of 12 and is entirely self-taught. A relative newcomer to the indie scene, he has overcome illness and adversity in pursuit of his dream to become a full-time gamer and is currently creative director at Malevolence. Please welcome Alex.
Hey everyone, thanks for coming by. As some of you might know, I'm Alex Norton. I developed Malevolence, the Sword of Ahkranox. It's the first infinite RPG ever made, and my slides tonight don't really have much to do with my talk, but they're just some selected screenshots from my community. I love my community. They're really supportive of my work, so I got them to pick their favorite screenshots. So that's what you'll be seeing during the talk. I'm a bit infamous in the local scene for rambling on and making talks go for too long, so I'm sure you'll see a big shepherd's crook come out at one point and drag me off. But my talk is about what it takes to make your indie game a success. And not necessarily a success financially, but a success for you as a game developer. And it comes down to four things, really. There's pride, passion, desire, and sacrifice. And I really believe, from my own personal experience, that you can't get your magnum opus to fruition, if it is a game or whatever product that you're trying to develop, without those four things. Pride is a big one. You'll all have heard the saying, you know, if you fall off the horse, you get back on again. You can only keep doing that after the 8,000th time if you have pride. And a lot of people say it's a bad thing, but if it's in something that you're particularly passionate about, it's definitely not a bad thing. It's a very, very good thing, because when you are trying to create something that means a lot to you, that you're very passionate about, obstacles will come up. The obstacles will be in the form of, hatred towards the project, or people disagreeing with it, or if you're making a game, I'm sure if there's any programmers in the audience, bugs that you just cannot fix no matter how hard you try. And unfortunately, getting to know a lot of game developers, I see them hit their first roadblock, especially new programmers, and they'll just quit. That's it. It's too hard, I can't do it, and they'll leave it to die. And it's a very, very sad thing to actually see. So you really need that sense of pride in your project and in yourself to be able to keep going and keep pushing on and on and on. After that, you need passion, and passion is a very, very big one. I think of a large, long-term project. I mean, Malevolence, for example, we're in our third year of development and heading towards our fourth. It's been a very, very large time sink. And without passion, it couldn't have been achieved. I always think of a large project as like a marriage, really. If you go into it without the utmost dedication and passion to that marriage, then eventually cracks will start to form and it'll wear at it, and sometimes it'll completely collapse. And the same thing goes for a project. After 4 years, I have had moments where I've wanted to just throw my computer out the window and say, screw it, I'm done, and walk out and never want to touch the thing again. But it's my passion for that idea that makes me keep going. And you really need to have that. Thirdly is desire. Now, a lot of people would say that passion and desire are the same thing, but in this context, I mean it as a desire to have it done, because having that project completed and finished and a thing that is real and living and breathing in the world for other people to interact with, not just you, that's a very, very noble goal, especially if it's something that means that much to you, that you are that dedicated to. And to have it out there, you need to desire that. The motivational speaker Eric Thomas, if anybody of you have heard that, they call him the hip-hop preacher. He actually relates a fantastic story, which is basically the moral is, if you want to be successful, you need success, you need to desire success as much as you desire to breathe. If you aren't doing something that is leading towards the success of your project, your passion, then you might as well be choking. It's on par with choking. So you need to just keep going at it and keep going at it and want it and desire to have that thing at the end. Malevolence I made because it's the game I want to play. I have played a lot of games. I've lived my life as a gamer. That's the game I want to play. And because of that, it needed to be made. It had to be made. I didn't have a choice in the matter. I went to sleep thinking about it. I woke up thinking about it. And nobody else would make it. Nobody else could make it. Everyone said that it was impossible. But I needed to see it done. So I had that desire and I worked on it, and now it's out there and people are playing it and people are enjoying it. And finally is sacrifice. And this is the biggest one that most people aren't willing to commit to. I don't go out with friends. I don't go partying. I don't visit family very often. I don't do anything. I work on my game because it needs to be done. And I'm not saying that you have to cut out everything, but a lot of people wish that they could be asleep more than they wish they could be working on their project. A lot of people wish that they could be out watching a movie more than they wish that they could be working on their project. As soon as you have that moment where you've got a goal that you're trying to reach, but somebody calls you up and says, hey, there's this great party on, you want to come out and have a few drinks, have a fun time, it'll be great. And you say, yeah, sure, and go out when that bug really needs to get fixed, then that's you starting to give up on it. Usually that comes from doubt, and that's where it goes back to pride. You really need to think, yes, I can do it, I will do it. And the things that I've sacrificed is crazy to get this done. I mean, I am a practical hermit. I barely talk to anybody. My own wife, all she sees of me is the back of my head at my computer, and luckily she's very supportive of that. She's a programmer as well, and it's just the nature of it. If you need to see it done, if you desire to have it done, whatever it is, it doesn't have to be a game, it could be anything. If you need to have that thing existing and living and breathing in the world, then you need to make sacrifices to do that, and you need to be aware that you are making those sacrifices, because that makes it feel worth it. At the end of it, you could have finished it and it's perfect, it's exactly the way you want it, and everyone in the world could hate it. But if you still love it and you still think that you have sacrificed for it and earned it and you love it, then it was worth it. You need to start separating monetary gain from a project from the personal, and start seeing where it's going to come, where your passion is going to come from. Because at the end of it, if you do something that you love, unless it's mass murder or something, it's going to bring you money eventually. If it's working on a project, or any sort of hobby or craft, it will reward you in some way. Most often money in this day and age because of the internet, and that's why you have to be driven by that passion. So those 4 things, pride, passion, desire, and sacrifice, really try and remember those things, because that is what will make you go from having an idea in your head to having a real thing that you can use and touch and breathe and live with for the rest of your life and be proud of for the rest of your life. So that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed my little short speech, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk.